Richard Dadd's Depictions of the Fairies. The story of Richard Dadd's life is a rather sad story, but one that I definitely wanted to make a video on for two reasons. The first reason being in regards to his depictions of the fairies, and the second reason is in relation to his mental health. So when I first came across Richard Dadd's paintings of the fairy folk, I was utterly fascinated because the way he depicted them was exactly how I tend to see them myself, clairvoyantly. He does have other paintings that are not fairy related, but for the purposes of this video I would just like to focus on his paintings of the fairies. So his paintings of the fairies were based on scenes from Shakespeare's plays. Some of the titles of his paintings are Titania Sleeping, Puck, Fairies Assembling at Sunset to Hold Their Revels, and Come Unto These Yellow Sands. Richard Dadd was born in Kent, England, and he studied at the Royal Academy of Arts in London and at William Dadson's Academy of Arts as well. In July 1842, he accompanied Sir Thomas Phillips on an expedition through Europe to Greece, Turkey, southern Syria and Egypt. While travelling up the Nile River, it was noticed by his companions that he was becoming increasingly violent and delusional. He believed himself to be under the influence of the Egyptian god Osiris. This behaviour was initially thought to be related to him suffering from sunstroke. On his return to England, he was found to be of unsound mind, and his family took him to a rural Kent village in order to recuperate. Unfortunately, in August of that year, he murdered his own father, convinced that he was the devil in disguise, and also attempted to murder someone else whilst en route to France to make his escape. He was overpowered and arrested, and when back in England, he was committed to Bethlehem Hospital, famously known as Bedlam, and diagnosed with the condition of homicidal monomania, and later on was transferred to Broadmoor. And so he spent the last 4 decades of his life in confinement. He was allowed and encouraged to paint during this time and completed more than 200 oil paintings, watercolours, drawings, paintings and landscapes. His 2 fairy paintings, Oberon and Titania, and the Fairy Fella's Masterstroke, are probably his best known paintings today. The detail in his fairy paintings are intricate, and each time you gaze at them you will always notice something new. So the Fairy Fella's Masterstroke was commissioned by George Henry Hayden, the head steward of Bethlehem Hospital at the time, and Richard Dadd worked on that particular painting for 9 years. Even after that time, he still considered the work to be unfinished in the lower left corner. He used a layering technique in order to produce a 3D effect, and he also later wrote a poem titled Elimination of a Picture and its subject, called the Fella's Masterstroke, in relation to this painting. So in this poem he gives each character in the picture a name and a purpose in order to show that the painting was not a product of his imagination. He also gave references here to Old English folklore and to Shakespeare. That painting is now part of the Tate Britain collection. So myself, as someone who has an affinity with the fae folk, and has also spent time in a psychiatric unit due to a bipolar condition, I felt that I should do this video as a tribute to Richard Dad. So the price that some artists appear to pay for their vocation is extremely high indeed, and Richard Dad is no exception there. If you are new to the works of Richard Dad, I recommend you check out his work immediately. You can view his paintings online and also read about his life just by doing a simple search. So that was my little tribute there to Richard Dad. So if you would like to keep up to date with my videos, please do subscribe, give this video a like and hit the bell for notifications. And please do share. Thank you.